Hello viewers and welcome to a brand new episode of Trashtalk on Flying Circus, where I talk about the planes in the book and I have no idea what I'm doing right now, so let's figure out what to talk about together. Also, warning, my text-to-speech does not speak German, so any actual German word is going to sound very butchered. Anyway, as the very first episode of the series, let's talk about the very first plane you will see on the catalog, Theler Kobra MD. The Theler Kobra MD is one of the 4 planes available to the Soldier Playbook, or just anyone that could buy one. Despite the Kobra being obsolete, much of the Gotha Empire's infrastructure was built around the plane, and the Theler Corporation has quite an immense influence on the country. As such, replacing it entirely wasn't exactly feasible, and thus, a new Kobra, the Kobra MD, entered service for the Empire, and licensed in Fokker 2. And it was kinda shit. Its engine, the Bertha F1466, required manual benzene injection just to start, and cylinders might start flying out of the damn thing if the carburetor is flooded instead of the plane. Also, the prototype suffered wing twisting issues from the lack of cantilevers, which Kreutzer, the other aircraft corporation of the Gotha Empire, was already using in their design. Also, this is how half of the planes are going to be like with their history. They are dangerous, they have constant malfunction, they will absolutely kill you. So anyway, you are going to fly well. Alright, I think that's enough history for now, so let's find out how you actually fly a Theler Kobra MD. In Flying Circus, the Kobra MD is a dogfighter, which means you defeat your opponent by outturning them to get your crosshair on them. You can tell by its decent handling, low turn bleed, high drop off, and high boost. These characteristics allow you to outturn your opponent, and gain back energy quickly to prevent stalling. Most of the fighter planes in the book are also dogfighters, so I will be comparing the stats of the Kobra MD with the rest of them. Compared to most dogfighters, the best part I could say about the Kobra MD is that its wet stat is average. It's not good at any aspect, but it's also not bad. Which means if you find yourself in trouble, try to figure out what your opponent is terrible at and exploit that.
Isn't that the go-to advice for every single plane?
Yeah, but it's something. Actually, if you ever wonder what's the strength and weakness of a plane, just look at this box and it will tell you most of it. You will also notice that the Kobra MD has Scout as a role. That's a bit confusing, isn't it? That's because during early flight era, Scout isn't a job, Scout is a classification. For military aircraft, Scout essentially means single-seater plane, which was initially used for reconnaissance but was later armed to fight other aircrafts and did damn well at it. Meanwhile, Fighter means two-seater plane. That also works much better for reconnaissance and scouting because 2 people means more eyes for spotting things. There's a reason why nobody use this classification anymore, but not in Himmelgard. There's also a couple advantages the Kobra MD has over most other dogfighters. Its speed, and overspeed, which is how far the plane could go before the propeller starts spinning the engine and tearing it apart, is quite high, which mean if you find yourself in danger, you could probably dive to gain speed to get away from said threat, or even dive to gain back energy quickly for another dogfight. The Kobra MD is also an extremely stable plane, meaning if you find yourself in an uncontrollable spinning, you could recover sooner than most other planes, which means you can fight over low altitude where most other planes are a bit wary of with good reason. The Kobra MD is also heavily armed with 3 machine guns, 2 medium and 1 light, with a collimated gun sight for more accuracy. Most other planes are equipped with only 2 machine guns, with no gun sight, so this is quite an advantage. Not only that, you can aim upward with the light machine gun, so you can shoot at other planes at an unusual angle. This is especially useful against planes with tail gunner like a bomber, which usually could aim everywhere except below, so you could just fly below them and shoot them until they drop. This plane even has a high offset radiator, which can take a crit from enemy fire and still work to cool down your engine one more time before it fails, without splashing your face in boiling water. And now for the bad parts. So yes, the Kobra MD has a nice boost stat so you can gain more speed than other planes via boosting, which is a nice thing to have in a dogfight. The problem is that this requires pushing your engine, and the Kobra MD has a very unreliable engine, which means you should either push your engine sparingly, or make sure your opponent goes down before you do. Also, this thing only has 6 fuel, which gives this plane a massive danger in running out of fuel. So here's what happens when a fuel tank takes a critical hit. It starts leaking fuel, and doubles all fuel consumptions. Most planes have 7 fuel, so that even if you get real unlucky with a fuel tank crit and are left with 1 fuel, you can still fly and go home. With 6, you are going to see the fairies. And finally, possibly the most important thing of all, this plane is kinda expensive for what you get with it. And that's about all I could say about the Theler Kobra MD, the base variant that is, because like most military vehicles, if enough people use it, someone is going to modify it for their own use. And we have a number of common variations here that you could ask your game master to replace your Kobra MD with one of it. First is the MD prototype, which lacks the wire root. This reduces drag force on the plane, increasing the max speed, drop-off and climb rate, but massively reduces the max strain of the Kobra, to the point that you should not pull any high G maneuver at all because this Kobra will snap in half. Next is the stripped-down variant, which removed the flexible LMG mount to reduce drag, increasing max speed, drop-off, and climb rate while reducing price, an actual good trade-off if you are not looking to hunt bombers. There's also a Von Morgan Kobra MD licensed by Fokker, which makes the plane more streamlined and durable while adding more mass. This increases the top speed, drop-off, and toughness of the Kobra at the cost of higher stall speed and lower boost. And finally, there's the Kobra MD bomber interception variation, which removes all MMG and puts 2 more LMG at the flex mount. This actually didn't change the stats of the Kobra much besides slightly reduced handling, so ultimately it makes hunting bombers a lot easier at the cost of needing some time to reload all the machine guns by hand while flying, and standing. That's about as safe as it sounds. And even besides all that, you can totally just modify the plane to your own liking because that's what ace pilots do, an extra gun there, more engine power here, just talk with your game master and work out something new, and that should be, truly, everything on the Theler Kobra MD. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, had a bit of trial and error to figure out what to even make of in this trash talk episode with how crunchy the airplane side of Flying Circus is. Anyway, that's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.